spring version of our Where We Live series here with the Sustainable Environment Institute. Sustainable Environment Institute is an adjunct, so to speak, of the District Academic Senate, and we are faculty run. We've been around for 15 years now, thanks to George Letty uh, holding the ladder all the way. I'm Beth Abels. I am co-coordinator along with George. And we also have George and Zhao here. So can you guys introduce yourselves?
Hello. Hi, Xiao. Good to see you.
Hello.
She's been traveling.
George, can you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, sure. My name is George Letty. I'm co-coordinator for the Sustainable Environment Institute, along with Beth Abels, and Zhao Bellenhorf are the third leg of our stool. So thanks to Zhao, we've had a very successful year with coordinating with the Climate Center at West LA College. And you can learn all about that in our upcoming newsletter.
And Zhao, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Shao. I work with Beth and George, and I'm actually right now just north of Dakar on my way to Morocco.
Woot woot.
Bit exotic.
So welcome everybody. We are going to be talking today. George is going to introduce Lisa, but we're going to talk to Lisa about what's happening in the district. I want to just list off a couple of other events that we will be having. So on April 24th, we'll have our guest speaker, Lazaro Arvizu, who's going to be talking or leading a workshop on building tool mats and talking about the relationship between humans and nature. So you'll see an announcement about that, and we look forward to having him participate with us. We also have our Earth Day series of events that will be on oceans. That'll start at around 11 and go till 2, and you'll see more information about that as well. And we are hoping to have a discussion in May as well. So May 3rd is the open house for Gold Creek. So if you want to have your families come out and visit Gold Creek Ecological Reserve, that's May 3rd. And we have lots of other things happening, but it'll all be in the newsletter you'll see coming out. Probably you'll see it on Tuesday. So welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Last thing, sorry. At the end of this, there will be an evaluation. Please make sure you link to the evaluation. So take it away, George.
Oh, thank you, Beth. Today, we're very fortunate to have Lisa Williams from our very own LA Community College District. I should thank her for being able to step in. That's why we're not doing our usual lunchtime. We're meeting here at 3, but it's thanks to Lisa that we're able to actually get this scheduled for today. We have not looked at the issue. Let me do a screen share so that we can all be on the, there's a cliche, on the same page. Is that what they say? Whoops, this is where we live. It's part of our series for this year that Beth has given the name to This Is Where We Live. So we started a lot with a focus on Native American perspectives during the Native American month in the fall. And then this is now Women's History Month. So our newsletter will actually touch on that and the importance of the contributions that women have made both in environmental sciences, but very importantly in environmental activism and education. So in that regard, I'm glad that today's guest is a woman and that her background is very interesting because we actually have some things in common. She's been 6 months into the sustainability and utility manager position, and she's actually very excited about working with the LACCD. Her background is in sustainability, and she helped launch the organics program for the city of Santa Barbara, expanding recycling for the city of Santa Fe, and conducting global greenhouse gas inventory for Macmillan Publishers, improving energy efficiency for the New York City Department of Education, which is a big deal, and most recently implementing nature-based play and campus ecology for the LAUSD. So you can see that her background, her experience professionally really, not only does it run quite a spectrum, but also geographically all over the country. She received her BA in geography from UC Santa Barbara, one of the best geography departments in the entire UC system. So that's good to see. And her master's in science and sustainability management from Columbia University. She's a Long Beach native.
Sorry to
Oops.
interrupt. You have Cabrillo Marine Museum Educator Workshops up on the screen.
Oh dear. Oh dear. It wasn't supposed to do that. Oof.
So sorry, right in the middle of the introduction. I'm sorry.
Well, it's my fault. I actually have our flyer up and running. So let me see if I can close these silly windows. I apologize. It's always the tech that gets me in the end. So let me run that again,
You
and
got it
maybe I
now.
need to.
Thank you.
You can see it now?
Yes.
Okay, good. It's much better to look at than a flyer for another organization on another day. Thank you, Beth, for pulling that one. And so to finish up, there's really a lot that Lisa has to offer, and I have to say that we have not visited this issue, which is what we would call the built environment, in a very long time. The last time the SEI looked at that was in 2021, when we had our vice chancellor, then vice chancellor for facilities, Dr. Ruben Smith, and we had Bharat Patel, who talked to us about the built environment. And so we have that is in our website. We actually catalog all of these seminars, and you can find them in a tab on our website that's called Teaching Resources. So when you go to Teaching Resources and you go to the lecture series, I need to relabel that one. You see that it's to 2025, the most recent one. So last month we had Ellie Goodsell from Chico State. And when we have the recording from this event, I'll add it with all kinds of related documentation that you will find useful for understanding what it is that Lisa is accomplishing working with the LACCD. And one last thing, we've been in contact with Lisa because one of her many things that she does is to get our students involved as interns on different campuses through the Build LACCD program. And if my understanding is right, those are paid internships. So I'll let her elaborate on that, but it's one of the many faceted things about Lisa Williams's work with the LA Community College District. Go ahead, Lisa, and fill us in on your latest projects.
Yes. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. I'm excited you guys are here as well. Just want to make sure everyone can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great. Yeah, so thank you, George, for the introduction. I think maybe the wrong information was passed to you. I've been here now a little over a year and a half, more than 6 months. Still feel like 6 months, as you guys all know, it's like drinking from a fire hose. A lot to learn still, so I'm very excited to be partnering a lot more closely with SEI and all of the wonderful faculty at all the colleges to learn more. But that said, I am a district employee. I try to treat all 9 colleges equally. I'm with facilities planning and development, which is does not touch curriculum. I don't want to touch curriculum. That is your guys' job, but I'm here to help in any way I can. So moving forward, today I'm going to be discussing the Clean Energy and Sustainability Resolution, the Roadmap to Sustainability and Climate Action, ASHE STARS, the BOG Sustainability Framework, and how we plan to achieve it all. A lot of this is very new. As you guys know, COVID hit in 2020. Things kind of slowed down majorly since then. But right before, or actually right when that was happening, the Board of Trustees passed the Clean Energy and Sustainability Resolution in July of 2020. And that resolution was to set goals to meet 100% renewable carbon-free electricity by 2030. That means all of the electricity that we consume on our campuses needs to be from a renewable or carbon-free source. 100% carbon-free energy by 2040. That means no more natural gas. We are not allowed to use natural gas by 2040. We need to develop a greenhouse gas emission inventory, which is very time consuming and complex, but it's a great way to benchmark and actually know if we are meeting those goals. We need to strengthen our energy efficiency program, or programs, as you could say. Energy efficiency is not often spoken about, and that it is a huge way for us to help meet our goals. It's something that we build buildings and we talk about energy efficiency, but really it's existing in our everyday life. And I'll give you an example of that later. The other goal the resolution set forward is to meet up to the 25% electric vehicle charging stations by 2030. I'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And then develop a 2040.
들어갔어.
Mute.
Hang on, I'll fix
Can
it.
everyone mute themselves?
아유, 장뜻.
Thank you. And then
Um,
the other thing was to develop a 2040 vision plan. So that is, how do we see ourselves moving forward in sustainability action and climate action that isn't just energy related? So what we're doing then with the 2040 vision plan is we've kind of renamed it to be the roadmap to sustainability and climate action. And it's bringing in the Clean Energy Sustainability Resolution, the Board of Governors framework, and ASHI stars. So we've kind of started identifying the existing conditions, the gaps, the needs. Then we're going to start identifying district-wide pathways. That's where the engineers, the architects will come in, and in phase 3 do priority setting. So kind of working with each college, the sustainability teams, bringing in faculty, maintenance and operations, and then determining what these priorities are, and then finally developing the final plan. The final plan is, the goal is to have it as a living, breathing document online, not a 130-page document that people look through. Something that's interactive and constantly changes as we all constantly change, as our colleges change. So we started out kind of identifying what are the needs, like what are the things that we need to focus on based on the state's, the Board of Governors goals, ASHI stars, and overall developing it into a roadmap. And you can see it covers a wide variety of things: academics, engagements, equity, adaption, greenhouse gas emissions, and then the other common things that we often think of, like energy in our buildings and transportation. So ASHI stars is the Association for Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education. The STARS tracking system is transparent, self-reporting, and a lot of colleges all over the nation, all over the world are doing this right now. And I know that a lot of colleges independently have started working on it. Beth, your college is one of them. But the district, or my team of 2, we are here to help do that. But we're going to be looking to faculty and procurement teams and business development to help us with that. And there's going to be a lot of work because, as you can see, it covers a lot of different credit areas, and these credits can be pretty in-depth too. The great news is that we don't need to achieve every single credit. We can pick and choose what we want. Some of them, like research, we might not even be eligible for. So we don't, like, it's very overwhelming when you start to look at it, but in the end, I think if we go with a very structured approach and figure out how to best accomplish it now and how to change things so that we can measure and track moving forward, it's going to be the best way to go. So moving into the Board of Governors Climate Action and Sustainability Framework, this was developed in 2021, and they just revised it last month. I think it was early February 2025. They released the new sustainability framework that's setting up it's actually now a 2026 benchmark, a 2030 goal, as well as a 2035 goal. So I'm going to dive into this and show you guys what we are so far planning to accomplish this. So we're just started creating a greenhouse gas inventory for all 9 colleges, including our offices and satellites. We are working to decarbonize our HVAC systems or our central plants. We developed the Integrated Energy Resource Plan that was released in August 2023, which is more like a decarbonization plan to help us identify the pathway on how to get there. We're increasing renewables and battery energy storage, as well as strengthening our energy efficiency programs. The way we're going to tackle greenhouse gas emissions is we're doing scope 1 and 2 for all campuses. Scope 3 is very complex. That's what includes business travel, commuter travel, purchase goods. So we started a pilot with West to be able to get that information and figure out how the procurement gathers it, and then how we can best approach the other colleges and request this information with those best practices already learned through West. We're going to be updating our energy information system platform. That's going to include a fault detection and diagnostics on our building management system, which I'll get into in a little bit. It's going to also include the GHG inventory and the roadmap for sustainability and climate action. It's going to be able to track that. And the great news about this is that this is going to be our first public-facing dashboard that anyone can come to at any time and see what our buildings are actually consuming as far as energy, where we are in meeting our goals, and where we need to go. As far as buildings go, like I mentioned, the Integrated Energy Resource Plan was released. This also is identifying where we need to increase or improve our standards for our building for construction. It's outlining LEED certification, which we've been doing since 2002. We're increasing by 15% on top of the Cal Green codes, the consumption powered by renewable energies, as well as obviously meeting the Cal Green code, which practically this day and age is equivalent to what the LEED requirements are. As far as LEED certification goes, since 2002, we have 58 buildings that meet platinum, gold, or silver or certified, which is fantastic. This is kind of an outline of all the buildings we have here, and any new building we build is going to meet some type of LEED certification or requirement standards. As far as solar goes, I hope this isn't too confusing, but it's basically saying this is our existing KW and solar. We have over 10, almost 10.5 megawatts of solar right now on our existing roofs. A lot of these systems are aged, though. They're anywhere from 10 to 15, getting older, years. As far as planning goes, right now in planning, actually either in construction needs to be energized or in design, we have another 3.1 megawatts. That's going to bring us to a total of over 13.5 megawatts, hopefully within the next 5 years. And then the IERP, the Integrated Energy Resource Plan, identifies where we need to go in order to maximize our solar production. And so you can see here the buildings outlined in green with little dots. This is all new areas where we should be adding PV. And we are in the concept phase of this right now. Of course, sometimes solar is not feasible. It's too expensive. The payback period is over 20 years, which is not really the best choice for us to spend money on right now. So these are all things we're trying to identify right now. Another thing that we're looking at doing is taking our old aged systems that already have the infrastructure in place and replacing the panels, because those panels are 15 years old. They're less efficient than what they're making now. So that's another way for us to increase our solar generation. We're also looking at the investment tax credit. You know, I keep hearing it's something that the current administration won't be taking away, but this investment tax credit can be paid back to tax exempt entities like ourselves on any of these big energy projects, which is a great way for us to take that funding and reinvest it back into more energy efficiency, ideally saving the college's money, because every college pays their own utility bill. And let me tell you, they're over $2 million a year, to help them reduce that bill, right? So we're looking at the ITC, the investment tax credit, which is a federal IRS program. We look at local utility incentives, as well as rebates. One of the incentive programs that is in the planning stage right now is with the Southern California Edison. It's the Self-Generation Incentive Program, where we've been awarded a 0.5 megawatt battery at Southwest College. So that will be our first battery energy storage program at Southwest. We are very excited about it, as well as adding batteries to future buildings when they're over a certain size. It's part of the Calgary Code again. The other big part that I'm very passionate about is the energy efficiency part. This is easy money to me, I think. We're upgrading all of the building management systems on every single campus right now so that we are using a software where we can manage what is happening in our buildings a lot easier than what was developed when those buildings were first, you know, coming on board. This is an example. It's actually not an example, it did happen, but of what happened at ELAC when we improved their building management system. The straight line of blue dots is the past 2 years of the energy model. And when we started working on their energy efficiency program, you can just see that energy dive. And so what happened since March of last year is we've saved nearly over $600,000 in electricity and gas for ELAC, which is huge. That's going to greatly reduce their electric bill in the future, which means that other budgets will hopefully be saved. And we hope to do this with every college as well and continuing to strengthen this because we know we can achieve more energy savings. The other things the Board of Governors framework is looking at is water, biodiversity, extreme heat. So we need to start benchmarking our potable water, metering potable water in the buildings versus irrigation. We're doing a recycled water project. One just got completed actually with Southwest, I think like 2 months ago. It was in January. That project took 10 years with the local West Basin Municipal Water District. So these things are not things that happen overnight. It's a lot of planning, a lot of infrastructure upgrades, but hopefully that is supposed to save us over 33% on water consumption there at Southwest. The HVAC and cooling towers, a lot of our water is consumed in our energy in our buildings. And if we use energy more efficiently, then we will also use water more efficiently. Removing non-functional turf, I love that idea. Some people don't, but we don't need it. You know, we can plant native plants, add more trees, tree canopies, native plants provide biodiversity, as well as cooling the local urban heat island, right? A recent project was just done at West, where we removed turf. We were able to capture that funding from the West Basin Municipal Water District and use it towards the project where we worked with local community partners and built a microforest. Here is a picture on the left is after the microforest planting day, and you see a bunch of like little dark spots. There are plants in there, and within 6 months, those plants will be more than knee high. Right now, they're very tiny. But as you can see, the whole community came out, the students, high school students, Girl Scouts, and it was a really wonderful event of everyone planting native plants and trees for this microforest. And then I'm towards the end here. Sorry, guys. I know this is a lot of goals, but the other goals that are really important for the Board of Governors framework is going to be focusing on waste procurement and food. So we're going to be developing an organics program, doing an integrated waste management program, and like zero waste roadmap is in our future. Trying to help the colleges support the local vendors that have sustainable efforts and buy local and less meat, which is also part of the ASHI STARS requirements for credits. As far as transportation goes, we are in the process of converting the fleet vehicles, mostly with the maintenance and operations, to electric vehicles. Harbor College just bought their first electric vehicle truck, which is very exciting. We encourage public transportation by supporting the Metro Go Pass whenever possible, especially through rebates and incentives, working with the city and the county, and grants, working with the city and county to make public transportation easier and safer, as well as adding nearly 600 electric vehicle charging stations. Back in 2023, I think it was right when I started, we had taken a presentation to the board about adding over 1,300 electric vehicle charging stations across the district. And over the past nearly 2 years, with the increase in vandalism and the cost of ongoing maintenance and operations and the decrease of the operation and maintenance budgets, we've realized that that was a very advantageous number for us to reach. And so slowly we've been working with campuses to try and decrease that number, and as well as working with the utilities to make sure that we're able to keep our rebates and do what is achievable now and plan also for the future, but make it so it's cost effective for the colleges. And then lastly, like Beth mentioned, or George mentioned, I think, our internship program. So Build LACCD, which is our bond team, they have a wonderful internship program for LACCD students where they can pay them. I think it's typically $2 over minimum wage, and they assign them to different groups throughout LACCD or with our contractors or architecture and engineering firms. And what's been really exciting is over the past year, I've been asked more and more to take on students who are interested in sustainability. And so the goal is to slowly, because we need to develop the program, is to start taking on interns at every college. It would be one intern ideally per college because there's only one of me. And they would focus on helping us with the greenhouse gas emission inventory, rolling out the food waste program, and help support the sustainability groups on campus. Maybe if there is no environmental club, help develop an environmental club or strengthen the environmental club. One thing I'm really looking for this is faculty or administration assistance, because one, the position would be at the college, and I'm at downtown LA, so at the ESC headquarters. So having the student be able to check in with somebody on campus. And then also there are going to be downtimes. These students typically their internship is 20 hours a week, and I may not have 20 hours of work for them. So if there was a faculty advisor on campus who would also be able to help, provide some work or guidance as far as the sustainability club, then that would be most ideal. So really in this case, I'm looking for faculty or admin who are willing to participate in kind of co-hosting, I guess you could say, this sustainability intern with me. And that's it. That is all I have. But I'm happy. I know I talk fast. I'm happy to go over anything again or go over any questions. Yeah.
So Lisa, before we get to questions, there are a couple of terms that you were using when you were talking about a lot of the energy systems, and I think it would be helpful if you wouldn't mind to translate them
Yeah,
a
as
little
best
bit.
as I can. Which ones were they?
Yeah, so for instance, when you're talking about megawatts, when you're talking about 13 megawatts,
Mhm.
what kind of power is that? Like, can you compare that for us to something else?
Okay, so your light bulb is in watts, and 1,000 times that would be kilowatts, and another 1,000 times that would be megawatts. So, so that would be what's fast math on I mean, light bulbs aren't even 60 watts anymore. Let me pull up my where's my calculator? It would basically be I'm trying to find it on my screen.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I
No,
guess.
no, it's fine. I should have been prepared with that. But like we're just gonna do math divided by okay, yeah, that's easy. I should have done that. So it's basically 10 million megawatts is the production that it produces in that moment, right? That is equivalent to 2 million LED bulbs at that moment being lit up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and is
Does-
there a way to relate that to the percentage of the electricity, for instance, that a campus might need?
Oh, it is. I don't have those numbers up right now.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah,
again,
no.
put you
It's
on the
okay though.
spot, trying to help people
Um,
get some context.
I can I'll try and write something up within the next week so you guys can add it to the thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And then just want to make sure everybody knows when you're talking about GHG that you were referring to greenhouse gases.
Greenhouse gas emissions. Yes, correct.
So those were a couple of things that I just wanted to make sure we had common glossary about.
Yes. And going back to the megawatt, so you have two different types of power. You have your power, your demand, and then you have your consumption. So at any moment, the power that we use, so say 10 million megawatts, that is what we're producing at that exact second. When you multiply power over time, that is when you get your kilowatt hours. And so that often looks a lot larger, but it's pretty incredible that any given second, we estimate that we are producing during the solar peak period 10 million megawatts. So I just didn't want you to think that that's what we generate in a year. That is what we're generating at this second. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's hard to explain power and stuff, but yeah. And greenhouse gas emissions. So we are scope 1 and 2. We're looking at the way the greenhouse gas protocol has separated or identified greenhouse gas emissions is we look at scope 1 and 2, which is the electricity that we purchase, the natural gas that we purchase, and then the fuels consumed on campus, everything from the diesel that goes into our maintenance trucks, the diesel that goes into our backup generators that are turned on weekly, the refrigerants that are used for all of our cooling systems and refrigerators. Basically anything you think of. As far as scope 3 goes, we're looking at waste, we're looking at water, we're looking at business travel, commuter travel too. Scope 3 is going to be the largest. We're looking at what it takes for people to come to our campuses. So that's going to be an estimate, but that's a big part of it. The food we consume, everything has emissions associated with it. And so we're looking at everything that is done in our daily work lives or in order to operate a college campus and we are responsible for and how do we move forward and reduce it. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
It's a big job.
Yeah.
It's a big job. Do you want to stop your share and we can field some questions, or would you like to have the screen up there?
I can always bring it back if someone asks a specific question.
So we do have some questions in the chat. And so I'm going to go to, I'm going to kind of read those for you. So there's a question about kind of going backwards here. There's a question about the interns, and it's Shane is curious about how tasks performed by the sustainability intern maps or interns map into skills taught in existing courses. And she thinks it might be helpful for faculty to think about what they might teach and how that might be a usable skill for an intern. So are you able to address that a little bit? How you're thinking about it for Build LACCD?
Yeah, so I have not thought about how it fits into curriculum. For one, to be honest, I do not know what classes and courses are offered throughout the district. I'm happy to, it looks like Joe's even raising her hand. I'm happy to add anything that the faculty thinks would be relatable to the task, but ultimately the Build LACCD program is to help accomplish the internship is to help accomplish things that we need done on the district facilities side. And to be honest, like I have so much that I need to get done at every college. I can't teach them anything but what I need them to do.
Yeah.
I hope you guys understand that.
Yeah, and actually the Build program does work directly with students who are in certain courses, and that does bounce around, and we can talk about that
Yeah.
in a broader sense. And I know architecture has a ton of students who are in the Build program doing internships, and so they do see a connection, whether the faculty get a chance to think about that or not.
Yeah.
And it looks like you have some volunteers here. So I'm seeing Joe Tavares is saying that she wants to help. The Climate Center wants to help. Um, let me I see there's a couple of hands up, but I just want to get to the questions in the chat for a second, and then we'll get to those other hands. Is that all right? Because there's some questions in here that have been here for a while. So we do have a comment, no fake grass, please. Okay, so questions, how long before we get EVs? Who will be maintaining them in case of vandalism? And how often will we swapping out solar panels for newer ones or efficient ones?
So, and by EVs, let's specify electric vehicle charging stations, right?
Yes, I believe that question.
Yeah, so we are hopefully going to be going out to an RFP very shortly, a request for proposals to identify the vendor, which will provide the hardware and the software. I mean, all I can really say about it is that you would not believe how long this takes. We had a hiccup in the past where we were using a vendor, and it turns out they didn't know how to navigate the Division of State Architect, which is a huge part of our design process. Then during the past 2 years, as we've been deciding how to do this, I see an email about we passed it 20 years ago on PCC is that for EVs? Here. Okay. Well, yeah, anyways, it is taking a long time
Yes, for
to
EV,
do.
sorry. Yeah, we passed it and then whoever was doing that left, and then our new committee has been working on it for, I don't even know, 10 years or so.
Oh, yeah, I know that the rebates and incentives for all colleges started coming from the utilities around 2021, 2022, and that's what made it more feasible for us to do it. But it's unfortunately not, I mean, I think if we were a regular workplace, it would be so much easier, but we have to go to the Division of State Architects. We don't want to dig twice, and we're currently upgrading all the electrical systems on the college for the infrastructure. And so we have to make sure the panels are just right, like the electric panels. We Office of General Counsel has said that we are not allowed to provide free charging because it's a gift of taxpayer funds. So that means all the chargers have to be networked and have, credit card availability. And then DWP, LADWP, one of the utilities has said, well, you can't hook it up to the meter because that has solar and you're not allowed to charge. There's just a lot is what I'm trying to say. And so
Can't charge electric cars with solar?
Okay, gosh, sorry.
it's not that we can't charge it, it's that DWP says we are not allowed to charge for the charger if it's on a net meter, a net energy meter. And so basically that means we have to bring in a new utility line. New utility lines are millions and millions of dollars. So we're trying to figure all this out right now. And it's a lot. And we just reduced the number of ports at Southwest and ELAC because it was way too much. I mean, the school could, if those weren't used, 18 hours a day, 5 days a week, every single one of them, the school would end up with possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars a year of operation fees that aren't covered by charging them. So I think what happened is California in general, the United States in general, went a little like gung-ho on add an EV port everywhere. And it's just not that easy, especially in a situation like ours. And I know this because I talk to so many other community college districts, and everybody's going through the same problem right now. Vandalism is rampant too, especially in LA. And we've already had the cords cut at Trade Tech twice for 24 stations. Guess how much 24 stations, the replacement for those cords costs? Anybody? Okay, I'll tell you. $20,000. Where's a college just going to pull up $20,000? And so it happened twice. And now the college is like, well, we're not replacing these because we don't have $20,000. And I'm like, I get it. So it's just a lot. Trust me, we are working on it daily. It's a big task, and we're trying to do it properly so that we don't have to upgrade electric panels and then come through and redo the wiring and upgrade them again because we need to add, because we're decarbonizing at the same time. That's the hardest part, is it's not just adding an electric vehicle charger and walking away. We're also trying to remove natural gas boilers and add electric boilers. And that increases our electric consumption. And sometimes DWP has even told us, like, there's not enough power in this area to cover that. So it's just a lot of organization, and it's hard to do. So thank you everybody for being patient, and I'm sorry it's taking so long. I think the goal would be that we have awarded a contractor and a vendor and have the designs nearly complete before the end of the year. And then construction would hopefully start next year and be completed next year is the goal. But who knows what's going to happen, to be honest.
I have a quick question. Some years back, we got a request from the then EPA, the old one. They were running a kind of contest on a national scale. It was to look at how much we were using photovoltaic solar, and how much was installed and when was it installed. And then based on the contest, they would either, provide some kind of reward, some kind of recognition. So we tried to respond, and I went on to facilities and asked facilities, what is the status with our photovoltaic? And what we found out was that the contest was only applied if you owned your solar panels and not if you leased them. So that took us out of the running. But I'm wondering, if we're leasing solar panels, why would we have to worry about replacing them? Isn't that something that's built into the lease, where the the company that's leasing them to you swaps them out when they lose their
Yeah.
operation?
So 2016, don't quote me on the exact year, the district actually bought out all of the leased solar panels that we had under a PPA. So every single solar panel we have on our campuses, we own.
Yeah.
And moving forward, we will only continue to own our solar panels as well. We're not going to do PPAs unless, because it's not financially sustainable anymore. It makes more sense for us to own it.
Thank you.
All right, we have some other questions in the chat here, so let me pull some together here. So, sorry. So there's a questions about low flow toilets. So I know some of these are more specific campus based, but this is about Pierce. And are there plans for low flow toilets? There don't appear to be widespread at Pierce.
I would have thought you guys, okay. Yes, we definitely, it is most likely going to be identified in the action planning that we are going to be doing with each college for the roadmap. If that is something that Pierce wants in order to help reduce water consumption, then that will be on the roadmap. From what I understand is that the district has helped initiatives whenever a college wants it to install waterless urinals, low flow toilets and whatnot. We ended up, I know, having a huge maintenance issue with waterless urinals, and we're like currently removing them from what I hear from one of the campuses. I can't remember which campus, but yeah, that is a plan. I know at our building in downtown, we have the dual flush. But yeah, and it's also part of the California Title 24 California Cal Green Code. So in any new building or major retrofitted building, those would already have the low flow toilets that are required as part of the California code.
Yeah, we've heard talk about the low flow, the no water urinals, lots of stories we've heard.
Yeah.
So there's a question here that in the dashboard you showed that measured energy use something that already exists or something that is on the work. Oh, is the measured enemy, sorry, let me try that again. Is the measured energy, is that something that already exists or is it something that's in the works and it will be available for everyone to see? Asking because it'd be a great teaching tool.
Yes, we had our kickoff meeting today with the new vendor. So the goal is to have the energy information system platform fully launchable publicly in 6 months. It's going to take a lot of time to get organized because we have so many buildings. But yeah, we have on most buildings in most campuses, we have interval data, which means it's like every 15 minutes. So we can see the actual energy of today if we wanted to. Where in a utility bill, just like, your apartment or your home, we only get the monthly bill or bi-monthly. So yeah, it's going to be great. Hang tight for 6 months and hopefully I'll give you guys a demo in 6 months from now.
Yeah, I think that would be great. And I'm just wondering if there's a place we can look. We will be looking for that. Is that going to be under facility? Do you know where that will go?
We haven't decided yet. I'm guessing it will be under the facilities planning and development website.
Okay.
Like there will be a link somewhere there. So on the district website.
And also there was a question about finding the document that is the Vision 2040. So I'm wondering if you can share where we would find that.
So that is not done yet. And when it is, you guys will know, because I'm assuming a lot of people on this call will be part of the sustainability committee for each campus. We've unfortunately had a little delay because we had to terminate our last vendor for that. And so now we have to start over. So I'm expecting it to take a year. We're hopefully going to go out to RFP within the next month or two for 3 new vendors. Actually, they're making me split this up. And And then we're expecting it to take about 12 months to launch the whole roadmap. But it's part of shared governance. So we're basically going to be identifying all the major arching goals from state regulation, federal regulation, and then our board of trustees requirements, and then working with each college to identify pathways and actions to meet that goal. So every college will have slightly different roadmap in a way. And that's going to include curriculum, water, transportation, kind of all the things I went over today. And then in the end, that is what will be the interactive roadmap on a website. So then you could go and you could say, okay, what is the entire district doing? And then you can go to each college campus and you can say, what is each college doing? And then where is each college with those action plans? Where is that college with their greenhouse gas emission goal or reduction? So yeah, it'll be very exciting, very, very well organized, and pretty much summarize everything across the district. You're on mute.
I saw a hand up earlier, so I know Joe had a hand up, and I thought Shane had her hand up. So you want to go ahead, Joe?
Go ahead, Joe. I think Shane had her hand up first.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you want to go ahead, Shane?
Okay, I put it in the chat too, but I just am curious, Lisa, if your thoughts about solutions and priorities have changed as you've gone through this process. You said you've been there like a year and a half, and I noticed in the beginning you really emphasized the role of conservation or like decreasing energy use and water use. So I just was curious if, as you've learned about unexpected challenges or unintended consequences, like the, vandalism of the charges or whatever, if your ideas about what kinds of things you should prioritize or, have changed.
Yeah, I think that is a great question. I mean, I've worked in public my whole life, so like I'm like your number one advocate to save taxpayer dollars and make things easy for maintenance and operation, because at the end of the day, I'm supporting the schools, but I need to go to the maintenance and operations teams to ask them to do stuff. And oftentimes, the directors are dealing with staff that doesn't come in, staff that doesn't do anything. And so my priority is, one, what is our low hanging fruit? What is going to save us the most amount of energy and reduce our greenhouse gases without having to spend a lot of money? And I mean, in my experience, I'm not an architect or an engineer, but I work with a lot of them, and they will sell you on, putting in the prettiest building with the prettiest, fanciest equipment. And sometimes that's not what we need. We need something that's like functional and easy to repair, and that we actually know when it breaks down. So this is why a lot of those things I mentioned, like the energy efficiency programs, like just making sure our building management system, which basically is it's like a software that it's like a computer for the building that operates the building, that actually works, because when it doesn't, that's when we're just running buildings 24/7 and we don't even know, because no one's there. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's greatly changed, because I've been in energy before and I've seen it with the New York City Department of Ed, but yeah, we don't need to be spending money on big fancy things. I think definitely with electric vehicle charging stations, when I first came on and I heard about some of the numbers we were trying to meet, I was like, that's a lot of charging stations. And now I'm like, that's way too many. We're not doing that. Like, another thing too, and I'll just say it here, unless they fire me, I am not putting level 3 chargers, fast chargers on our campuses. People have asked me, and the reason is very good reason, I think. One, they are insanely expensive. Two, they will increase the demand, the power that we need on our campuses, which is sometimes up to 2/3 of our electric bill, majorly. Three, they cost a lot to operate. And four, we are a college. The point of us is to have students come on campus, stay on campus, learn. DC fast chargers are so popular in the area that we would have to have alerts saying after 30 minutes, you need to move your car because the next person wants to charge. And what, we're going to start like pulling students out of classes for that? I just don't, yeah, DC fast, and there's not enough incentives on it yet either. It's just, it's too much. I'm not doing it.
And supposedly there's a charger coming out of China that does it in 5 minutes. So maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But
Yeah, that's got to be so bad for your car, though. I don't know. I don't have an EV. I have a scooter and I take the train, but yeah.
Thank you.
Great question.
Go ahead, Joe. Why don't you ask your question?
Thank you. This is amazing. I want to take a minute to acknowledge how much Lisa has accomplished in less than 2 years. We started about the same time, and I've been, doing the work here at the Climate Center, and a lot of what we have accomplished here could not have been accomplished if it weren't for Lisa and the work she's doing at the district.
Thanks,
I am
Joe.
constantly inspired and just motivated by everything you're doing, and the amount of work that you do too is impressive. So I'm gonna take a minute to acknowledge that.
Thank you. Cheers to all of you guys too, because you guys make the school function, work. The students bring the students there. I think that's so important.
And that's my next point. So Shane, I love that you asked that question. And then I saw that Adolfo mentioned that he's available and interested in helping with internships. And so this is my invitation for all of you. That's why the Climate Center was created, to support faculty. We've been working very successfully with SEI. And so if you are interested in doing more, whether it's working with interns, like Adolfo said that he's interested in doing, or if you want to do something that brings this knowledge to your classroom, I would say please contact Beth and George. If it's internships, you can probably contact me directly. I'm going to put my email in the chat again. Some of the interns that Lisa will be supervising this summer will be interns that we will be placing. Not all of them, but some of them will be coming from the Climate Center, and we could definitely use more help mentoring students, coaching students. There's a number of things that need to be done to support the students do the internship program, and I would love to have more faculty helping. And then that's one thing. And then the other thing is this idea that we could bring some of this knowledge to the classrooms. In fact, we are piloting this right now. We have a workshop that we're doing with Professor Marcelo Oliva from Trade Tech, in which he's going to be introducing several types of different software. And some of them are related to the work that Lisa is developing, specifically the star rating program. So these are tools that the students could benefit from just being exposed to. And if that's something you'd like to introduce into your classroom as additions to what you teach, please contact Beth and George and Zhao, and let's work together to see if there's an opportunity for curriculum development here. And the last thing I'm going to say is, if you are excited about any of these sustainability related topics that Lisa covered, like she went through everything, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transportation, landscaping, microforest, growing food, like there's just so many different sectors within this. If any of those topics are of interest to you, the Climate Center has funds for professional development. So we can help find like training opportunities that you as a faculty member could pursue, and we could help sponsor that. So again, you can connect through SEI. You can reach me through SEI or directly on my email. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you, Lisa. We do have a couple more questions, but I want to keep us on time. So thank you so much for Lisa. Really, really appreciate what you're doing and all the work that you're doing for us. And it definitely shows. We have our community of practice right after this today. So I'm actually going to close the meeting, and then faculty who are working on curriculum can come back to the meeting right after I close it. So, and we'll start at 4:05. So thanks again, Lisa. Oh, yeah, don't forget
Did
to fill
you-
out the survey, please.
Did you still have more questions or are we good?
I think if there's questions, I'll ask people, I will capture them and I will share them with you and then I will share them out on our website.
Okay, great.
On our website.
Thanks,
Yeah, thanks
everybody.
so much.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
Lisa.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Thank you.